Взорвали, блядь.
Ukraine continues its campaign of repeated and relentless strikes against Russian forces and infrastructure, showing no sign of easing pressure even as speculation grows about a possible peace deal with Putin. In occupied Donetsk, Ukrainian drones set off powerful explosions, sparking fires in the city. The same night, drones crossed into Russian territory, hitting the Voronezh region, where loud blasts left several villages without electricity, most likely due to damage at an energy facility. Crimea was not spared either, as explosions echoed through the night around Sevastopol and Cape Violant, rattling the occupiers and reminding them that no place is beyond reach. Ukraine is waiting to see what comes of political talks, but on the battlefield, it leaves nothing to chance. And this is the hardest part of Ukrainian attacks for Russia. During the night, Ukrainian drones struck the Novoshakhtinsk petroleum plant in the Rostov region of Russia, causing a fire. Astra reported on this, with videos and photos being shared on social media. It is reported that local residents had initially heard about 5 explosions near the facility. Later, videos and photos of the fire at the plant after the strike were published on Russian Telegram channels and local communities. The Novoshakhtinsk petroleum plant specializes in the production of fuel oil, diesel fuel, and gasoline. The designed processing capacity reaches 7.5 million tons of oil per year. It is the largest supplier of petroleum products in southern Russia. This Russian facility is located less than 200 kilometers from the front line in Donbass. The proximity of the refinery to the Ukrainian border makes it important for supplying fuel to the Russian invasion forces. This facility has already been struck by Ukrainian drones more than once.
This is the situation we have this morning, and all of this is from the oil refinery. It's still burning there, blazing away.
Parts of Russia and occupied Crimea are experiencing huge disruptions in fuel supplies due to an ongoing Ukrainian drone campaign against Russian energy facilities. This thread highlights key attacks this month and their effects. August 3rd. Drones attacked the Rosneft Kubanefte product oil depot in Adler in the Krasnodar territory, setting alight a 2,000 cubic meter tank. The depot belongs to the Rosneft Oil and Gas Company and engages in the storage and transshipment of petroleum products. It has 41 tanks with a volume of 31,200 cubic meters. August 7th, drones attacked the Afipsky oil refinery, hitting a unit for the processing of gas and gas condensate and causing a major fire, which Russian authorities reported covered an area of 250 square meters. The refinery processes 6.25 million tons of oil per year, supplied from the West Siberian and Volga-Ural fields by pipelines and rail links. It produces gasoline, diesel fuel, gas condensate distillates, fuel oil, and sulfur. August 10. Drones set alight a refinery in Saratov, causing a major fire. Ukrainian officials said it was one of the key facilities of the fuel infrastructure of the Russian Federation, involved in providing the occupation forces with oil products. The refinery can process about 140,000 barrels per day. 2 days after the attack, it announced it had stopped accepting oil. Its shutdown may affect the supply of domestic gasoline in Russia, just as seasonal demand is increasing. August 14th, the Lukoil Volgograd Neftepererobotka plant in Volgograd sustained major damage and widespread fires from a drone attack. Visible here in imagery from NASA's firm's fire detection system. The plant is one of Russia's largest oil refineries, processing up to 15.7 million tons of oil per year. It supplies southern Russia and occupied regions of Ukraine, as well as export markets with gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, bitumen, liquefied gases, and other oil products. August 15th. The Syrizan oil refinery in the Samara region was set on fire by a Ukrainian drone strike, causing a major fire and explosions. The Rosneft-owned plant is another of Russia's largest refineries and processes up to 8.5 million tons of oil per year. It is an important supplier to the Russian armed forces, producing aviation kerosene and other fuels. August 19th. The Lukoil refinery in Volgograd was set on fire again by another Ukrainian drone strike. The scale of the damage is not yet known. In addition, Ukrainian forces have attacked fuel trains, also on 19 August, and rail infrastructure in occupied regions of Ukraine and western Russia. This is reported to have blocked the main line through the occupied part of the Zaporizhzhia region. Russian fuel trains cannot cross the Kerch Bridge anymore due to damage resulting from Ukrainian attacks, and bad weather has reportedly affected fuel shipments into Crimea. As well as causing long queues and disruption for motorists, the Ukrainian campaign has pushed the price of fuel to record levels. On the St. Petersburg Stock Exchange, AI 92 gasoline has reached a record cost of 71,309 rubles per ton for the first time. Good job. It seems that Ukrainian sanctions are the most effective against the Russian economy. Clearer images published by Dnipro Osint show the wreck of the Port Olya 4 ship. Salvage operations are now underway using cranes and tugboats. On August 14th, Ukraine carried out a long-range drone strike on the Port Olya 4. A Russian cargo ship docked at the port of Olya in the Astrakhan region on the Caspian Sea. According to Ukrainian sources, the vessel was carrying Iranian-supplied parts for Shahed drones along with ammunition. Images taken after the attack show the ship partially submerged, with its bridge and upper decks heavily burned, clear evidence of intense fire damage. The Port Olya 4, owned by the sanctioned company MG Flot, has been a regular transporter on the Iran-Russia route, moving military cargo from Amirabad to Olya. The strike marks one of Ukraine's deepest attacks into Russian territory, sending a strong message about the reach of its drones. Russian officials have not disclosed details about casualties or the state of salvage operations, but the destruction of the vessel adds another layer of strain to Moscow's already fragile logistics network. And battlefields are not resting either. A Russian BM-21 Grad multiple-launch rocket system has been destroyed by the Ukrainian 38th Marine Brigade. Destroying MLRS systems is crucial because they can unleash massive, rapid-fire barrages that devastate troops, supply lines, and defensive positions. Taking them out limits the enemy's ability to strike deep behind the front, slows their advances, and protects civilians and infrastructure. Each destroyed launcher reduces both firepower and morale, making it a high-value target in any conflict. To critics of the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska, I'd suggest they shut up and sit in the corner. We're living through historic times, said U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg. That corner probably lacks space. Kellogg is one of the good ones, though.
Kellogg, what do you say? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, first to the critics, I'd probably like to just say, oh, shut up and go sit in the corner. You know, the fact is, Larry, we're living in a...
It appears that a Russian Shahed drone may have landed and exploded in eastern Poland, hundreds of kilometers from the Russian border. Polish authorities calm the population after Russia strikes deep into Poland with a kamikaze drone.
Please don't. We wanted to inform you first about what is most important. Firstly, that there were no casualties, no one is injured in terms of health, fortunately. 3 nearby buildings were damaged due to the explosion of an unidentified object that fell to the ground not far from here in a cornfield. What should also be noted is that everyone can feel safe for the moment. There is currently no threat. Radiation has been checked and measured. What we know at the moment, as you have heard, is that an unidentified object from the air. I would not like to comment here precisely on the technical parameters or details of the explosion because there are appropriate services for that. We are dealing with debris, the area is secured, and all services are working on site.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day we had a guy
gets 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.